You're live on the air. What's your name, comment, and/or question?
Uh, I'm Ron, California, and I really like Bernie as a second choice for myself. He's teaching a lot of father about politics in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
However, the first choice. That's why I was on the because your bloggers know that my first choice is actually a different candidate on the other side of the aisle.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hang on 1 second. Let me do some housekeeping on my end. I need to do a couple things. Now, who is your first choice? Somebody from the other side. Who's your first choice?
Trump. Trump's my first choice.
Okay. And so now, are you? Would it be safe to say that you are just, in a way, anti-establishment, right? If you
Okay,
like Trump,
so I have been Republican. I have voted Republican, the Republican line, all the way down. George W. Bush,
mm-hmm.
George Bush, Dole, Romney, all the way down the line. And
Mm-hmm.
this year, I could not do it. They're all part of this gang in Washington, and I put Hillary in it.
Mm-hmm.
I put Harry Reid in it. I put Mitch McConnell in it. I put the Republican Paul Ryan in it. They're ripping us off. They are robbing the country.
Yeah. Okay.
They're
So yeah,
stealing it.
yeah. So you represent that anti-establishment. You've done your part. You believed in the Republican line, and so if Trump, so how does this play out for you? So at what point would you say, okay, I'm not voting Republican. I'm going to go vote for Bernie? Who has to get who gets the nomination?
I'll tell you the honest truth. I'll be absolutely honest. If Donald Trump does not win the Republican nomination and Bernie Trump wins the Democratic nomination, I will vote Democrat.
Wow. Okay. All right. What was your name again?
Ron.
Ron. Listen. Thanks so much. Listen. Actually, before I do that, let me ask any of the people hosting with me today if you guys have any questions. Did anybody want to ask Ron a particular question? Nis, you're up. What do you want to ask him?
Okay, so I have seen some videos from these Trump rallies of people who are beating, like severely beating and kicking people of minorities, spitting in people's faces, shoving people around, dragging them by the craw to the exit, kicking them for good measure before they then walk away from them. And I just want to know how you can, in any way, shape, or form, support that.
Well, of course I'm going to support that, but I think that is a very narrow point of view that you would say that only at a Trump rally would a person of color or a minority be beaten only at a Trump rally, and that could not possibly happen at any other person's rally or any other person's event, that there would be an assault. If it's looked for, it's going to be found. And that's what I've learned in 40 years of American politics. If you look for it, you're going to find it.
Well, let me jump in there, Ron. And push back on you just a little. I think, and if I could offer you a different pushback for that, right? I thought you were going to go in this direction, and I was going to agree with you. If all we see of Donald Trump supporters and all we think of Donald Trump supporters is that they are a part of that malicious crowd that does this type of things, then I would agree that we have a very, very narrow view of all of the different types of people that are supporting Donald Trump, because clearly not everyone who's supporting Donald Trump is a part of those crowds. But I have to push back on you, because in my lifetime, I've never seen this type of behavior at a rally except for a Donald Trump rally. But I don't think that that's the totality of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but would it be fair to say that what we see does not represent all of the Donald Trump supporters?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll be honest. I live in California, so I have not had an opportunity to go to a Donald Trump rally. I will just say this, that what I hear and see of the people who support Donald Trump are people of all races, of all ethnicities, of all backgrounds, and those who agree with Trump agree with his message of American nationalism, of bringing jobs back to the country, of basically unions, protecting jobs, protecting national sovereignty, and crushing the bankers and the politicians who are robbing the American worker of his prosperity. And if there are people who are extremists, who hear that message, that love it, that latch onto it, then they have just found a place to feed their parasitical views, and that does not represent the body politic. In essence, if a person gets sick, they're not a bad person. The disease was not chosen by the person. The disease chose the person.
Okay. All right. I can take that. I can dig that. Listen, Ron, thanks you for the call, and thank you for civil conversation. I would love to talk to you more about it, but we have some breaking news here. So thanks for the call.
You've been very kind. Thank you.
My pleasure. Have a good one. So we have some breaking news.